Hello, my friends. Crazy World D&D style. I would first like to start this off by thanking the creators of Dungeons & Dragons in 1974, Ernest Gorg and David Arneson. Thank you very much. I always make fun of your game, but it was played for thousands of years before y'all made it. Just saying, so thanks to you two. You see, as a kid, I wasn't allowed to play Dungeons & Dragons with my friends. My mother said it was the devil's game.
Astronomy is one of the many tools of the devil.
I often refer to it as what the old men that rule play in secret with one another. To this day, just the dice and the game board is different. Because if you haven't figured out by now, all the world's a stage, and we are the audience. And whether you believe in God or not, they all do. And they being the elite, the ruling class, right? Clowns like Charles Schwab, Bill Gates, the Clintons, Rothschilds, Soroses, right? Those are your dungeon masters. We're told of history as if we just got here, not millions of years ago. See, that points to a lot. You see, every day I see videos of these clowns and how they'll kill us all. People have the doom and gloom every day. Oh no, buy more food, this and that. They're going to kill us. They're going to take all your guns, whatever. I don't think their own self entitlement will allow them to get rid of the audience. It's too much money. They need us to be scared. They feed off of it. They want us to freak out. Or they're just going to be sad old men on the stage, you know? Yeah, very sad. Yep. And I see the videos everyone posts about secret societies that rule the world. But do they really? It seems like they all live in a protective bubble of sorts, in fantasy land of their own. Seriously, I bet they all laugh at Schwab as he tells it with a straight face, utter insanity to them. Eat bugs, enslave mankind. He's a great dungeon master, y'all. George Soros, another good dungeon master. Hell, even the U.S. laws would consider him an enemy of the state, a terrorist outwardly committing crimes against humanity, paying for them to be committed. They let him slide because he's one of their wizards, right? Without him on ritual night, the game probably would suck. Bill Gates. He probably dresses up as a troll. He eats bugs and scorpions right in front of everybody, and they're like, "Oh God, D&D night would not be the same without Wild Bill." I was in deep thought, thinking of things that you know I could kind of research into, and I tried so hard, but the things I found made absolutely no sense to me. Our entire history is absolutely ridiculous if you stop and think about it. I got so irritated that I have so much propaganda and lies to sift through just to get a straight answer on the smallest of subjects. I wonder who let it get that way, right? Who allowed this? How do we stop it? It should be addressed, right? Things like this should be addressed by all citizens. All humans of Earth should address that. So I'll start at a time that's the shadiest of all. We know this time, the made up history time from the 1500s to about the 1850s. Now in the 1500s, these maps. Look at these cities, these towns, extra land and islands, right? Every place is inhabited. Hell, there's even dinosaurs and dragons and all kinds of weird things and giants and everything. Castles and green grass and trees where deserts now are. Ice and snow are where, you know, rainforests are now. Some places 200 years later, they just call them mythical. That place doesn't exist. It's nowhere around. No matter what anyone claims, there's no one alive today that was there to confirm one single solitary thing. It's whatever they claim it was, no matter how outrageous their claim is. I propose the stage was empty for a very long time for some reason. Seems like it. Seems like there was a time when no one ruled the world. We see the buildings, the people, they're all gone now, right? The inheritors took them, an empty stage. And these weirdos just took it upon themselves to start another play, another circus, with no one to stop them. No permits, no permission were needed. You see, if humans have been here for millions of years as they allege, since monkeys began to talk, where's everything at? Every square inch of Earth should be an ancient archaeological site. Where's the trillions of people buried at? Where's the buildings, the other civilizations stacked upon top of each other? Not two, four, or six of them, but hundreds of them, thousands of them. Basically, reasoning behind the claims of being here for millions of years is false, and it's known by these archaeologists and paleontologists when they dig in the ground. See, it would mean that every time we dug a hole in our backyard, we'd find something from the past. Tops of buildings and malls and trinkets and gold from thousands upon thousands, if not millions of years ago, found everywhere. It doesn't happen like that. We dig ditches every day, some of them very deep, very long, all day, every day. No one hardly ever hits anything but dirt and rocks. So I'm saying it's not just a lie. It's impossible. Yep, it's impossible. Think about it. You came from primordial ooze, right? Like I said, everyone's backyard should have a layer upon layer of relics from ages past. It shouldn't be just past 100 years or so that we had technology. That's just crazy to think that after millions of years we just now have internet, TV, vehicles, and so on. Maybe. I think the stage was empty and no one was there. No composer, no producer, or actors existed. I can't even speculate what happened. I don't know. But all of a sudden, certain families took it upon themselves to create a new playbook, a script, a new story, and the main characters were put in place and set the stage for what we have become now as Crazy World. You ever wonder why anything or nothing ever gets done? Why leaders of the world promote and cherish foolish doctrines and teachings for some strange reason? Every time they get together, we see them have talks about treasonous and evil, inhumane shit and criminal actions. They sugarcoat it, but outwardly they're acting like, they're sheep. But inwardly, like we were told, they're ravenous wolves. I think I know a few things that explain my point a little bit better. Before Queen Elizabeth in the 1600s, I think King Arthur really existed. Before the stage was left empty, I don't know what happened, but it was just like today, I think, without the drama. King Arthur made balance of some sort, but something happened. He was deleted as a myth. You couldn't have clothes like these, and buildings and knowledge, but lack common sense for a toilet, like thousands of years before had. And one day, Europe, America, Asia, Africa, and all the people who were in charge, they wanted to play on the world stage. So they were rounded up, everything was split, leaders were chosen, and history was written down. That's why it's so awkwardly recorded and it makes no sense. Before they showed up, what were we all just stupid? No, we just didn't bow down to the dungeon masters is all. No one cared what they said, you know? They didn't care. They were like, "Hey, look, you do you, I'll do me." So they wrote history. They took the palaces and castles and they paid poor people to join their armies. These people were not chosen ones. Not by us anyway. They had no idea how to rule. Look how horrible they were at it. Just what was told. That's why at one point they had to reset knowledge, so to speak. So it wasn't shared, right? Everyone says to me, Elon Musk, oh, he's going to help and Trump is going to help. Okay, well, show me you're such a good man and tell us or show us the truth once and for all. Tell us what happened, the entire truth. You'll be heroes, loved by the whole world. You'll go down in history as a good man who did something. Is everyone a sellout? It appears that way. Bring them all to justice in front of the world. Tell what went wrong, no matter how screwed up it is. It's too much like right, though, right? Because currently we're being led by corrupted politicians, corrupt judges and generals, leaders and clergy. And since there was no author of this new script on the world stage at one point, well, a master took the job, and no one fired him. To this day, he's still running it. These old men with their secret brotherhoods, right? They have all the areas in control, the ideas, all the secrets. Judges, police, the leaders, the media, right? The platforms. They use it to hide their stories. Everyone knows the truth about it, and they don't give a damn. They all secretly, are buddies, while the media claims otherwise. They show us propaganda from both sides. They act all holy and righteous for the world stage, but every one of them are sellouts, are evil and cowardice. Even the politicians I used to like, they're cowards. Not one good man is there to stop it, just like our grandfathers told us it would be. And as a fellow human on this earth, I take it as my duty to complain and document the shenanigans. Yep, well, just like the time, no one ruled the world, right? The act was getting old, see, so a new play was written. Idiots took it upon themselves to write their places in. And like I said about Charles Schwab, Gates, and all these people, right? No one gives a shit what they say, except the rest of the actors, the secret societies, and I include the FBI, CIA, KGB, China, Russia, Great Britain, US, Canada, everyone. Who the hell gave you rights to this place? To own the oceans and set boundaries like that? The people all agree, but for hundreds of years of power, it has made them learn how to deal with most issues. When we, all of us, seem to be getting along better, they cause a disaster or a problem to split the audience and cause chaos. They put a new enemy in place. But with all that, what gets me the worst is the games that they all play with each other. Right? It's like from the old world, all the world together, they use these vast resources and taxpayer money to enact and fund all sorts of plays and charades. The people don't agree, and if they knew, they would stop it. The World Health Organization. They're not even doctors. Who gave them the right? The people? No. The crazy kings of the earth did. And they used military personnel. Yep. Just to enact their rituals. That's right. Like taking or escorting the Pope to the place in Antarctica where the supposed watchers had a place of worship at. What? The elite, who fund the clowns that we have. They outwardly play D&D together. Wizardry, witchcraft, alchemy, seances, rituals. They eat cakes made anatomically correct of a full-size human being so that they could practice, cannibalism. They drank blood and cast spells, and they watched the stars and performed for their gods. They use the sun, moon, and stars not for signs and seasons. I wish I had researched and found otherwise, but they worship to their god Baal. All these old men and women have sold their souls to the dungeon master. He's not human, or what was human of him is long gone now. But he apparently buys their souls, and what price, I don't know. No rolling the dice now. Just hell is what they get. Seems like a silly game, but it works just like D&D. Even if you don't believe in a creator because of the evidence that you've been given, well, somewhere along the way, somebody told you wrong. Because just know, they know that there's only one God, and their God confirms the creator. It's their enemy, the Most High God. And their God longs to be just like he is, as powerful as him. And these pictures of these people in these clothes, the weapons, houses, castles, overall architecture, right? Every continent. I propose it was stolen and claimed. The Smithsonian, one of the worst. And many of these colleges, they all opened, in this time period. The 1700s onwards was completely fabricated. I'm not sure if but very few things can be proven 100%. And all of a sudden, someone made themselves procurers of relics, supreme leaders, world police, keepers of secrets. Upon themselves they did this. Our entire history is very shady if you really dig down into the facts presented. First, if you ever want to research a subject, never Google or Wikipedia it. That's the Dungeon Master's playbook, glossary, and index. Get it from the source. It's the best way. Sometimes it's a good start there, but make sure. So I did. So frustrating, right? But here's the deal. Millions of people consume these explanations as pure truth. National Geographic, History Channel, Discovery Channel, they're all guilty. But see, it matches the views on life, the ones that were programmed into all these people. So they accept it. They don't know that they believe, something that's false. It just sounds good to them. And remember, no matter what no one claims, no one was alive, right, 500 years ago, and are alive today to tell us or confirm anything One single solitary thing. We catch the lies all the time, don't we? History as a whole has a huge problem. Truthful facts being preserved. Look how they destroyed knowledge since knowledge was collected. All the maps from the 16th century tell of a different world. Places that, like I said, are deserts now. They were lush and green. How is this even possible? It appears to be more vast than we all know, the world. And somehow, it doesn't even exist, any of these places. At a time where airships and boats sail the entire world, we're supposed to believe these dungeon masters? Right? Nope, those are the boundaries. I believe the captains and the map makers. They didn't have nefarious motives. They were free men. They gave the maps as much detail as possible because no one ruled them and ruled the world and the oceans. It seems that way. I'm sure someone will comment that I'm wrong, and that's okay. The fact still remains no one is alive today to confirm the history lesson that they were taught. There are no hard drives and no info, wars, no Snowden and friends. None of them were around. There's no WikiLeaks or emails from the Sumerians and the Phoenicians. I'm sorry. And I can make a scroll, not being an ass, but I can put lines on a rock and tell you anything that it says. Things that we know are chosen to be released. Sometimes they can't stop the other side's story from being seen or told. That's where the shields come in and do their job. We see them all every day to repeat the narrative in the story, just the way that their masters command. It fits the wheel in a way that most people are programmed to accept. So you can't go against the grain or you'll be called crazy by crazy people. How strange is that? I found the best analogy for history, as we've been told, is imagine if you had a 10,000 piece puzzle, right? And they said, this is a puzzle of the world. Except thousands, if not most of the pieces are missing. Now, some pieces look like they fit, but they were made. They're forgeries. They're not exact. And they won't fit without bending or forcing them into place. Could you make out what picture you have here? Maybe. Minor details. A few things would be seen, but you can't really understand, right? They could tell you anything. That's our history in a nutshell. You can't take away the architecture and buildings that we can see, right? But the people, the thoughts, the beliefs, the writings, the teachings, all of the secrets, they can be removed and replaced. No matter, no matter what, even if they don't fit. Imagine a set of bones there, and they were giant bones. Take away the rest of the picture. It's just a set of bones. All you'd have to do is explain as you would a child, and nothing to see here. But it does trouble me about these maps. You know, just the built out cities, extra land, and islands, double the area that we know now. And all of them are in the places that are off limits to us. Can you imagine that, right? Such detailed maps. Well, giant ships in the air and the sea roamed wherever they chose. There was no coast guard or military to stop them, right? And I suggest that there was a time that no one ruled the world like they do today. It was and still can be a wonderful and majestic place to be if certain people would just butt out and keep their insane ideas to themselves. And see, the clown kings of the world have put in fail safes, like the United Nations. Shouldn't it be the United Peoples? They did it so that we wouldn't do it. Because who endowed them with such power to set up this organization? Not the people for sure. The checkers checking the checkers. It's so stupid. Put in place by the ones who need checking. Say that fast. There's no good men there. It's just like the World Health Organization. Who gave them the right? Who are they supposed to be? God didn't appoint these people. Crazy people did. That's why they're constantly getting caught lying. They're idiots. Most of them aren't even doctors. We should ignore these people and reject everything they have to say and offer. Now, the most insane part of this movie set on the world stage are these secret societies. Like I was saying before, do they really run things or they just live in their own bubble? Yes, some of the clubs serve no part in the events of the world. However, the ones that do have a part were established hundreds of years ago, right about the time history was rewritten, the time when our true realm was made into a prison, and when the controllers or whoever decided that it was best to keep everyone stupid to the truth and to the true reality, to hide what they deem was theirs or off limits to only the ones that they choose. They changed the classrooms and the way of thinking and the places of knowledge. Remember, they destroyed them and they put in what they wanted to fit their views and put in power their elect. Enlisted into history was chaos and disorder. Despite the puzzle that, incomplete as it might be, it shows order and peace and magnificence and elegance. They then installed a godless program made to adapt and change when needed. To this day, look at how the world's military patrols the vast oceans, keeping everyone in the boundaries set by old men who are long gone now. Old issues that they claimed that was the problem, they're no longer a factor. Well, that true that might be, but then what they do, they just add another Russia or enemy or something that doesn't exist to keep up the charade. There's no need for world police. No one should agree with this madness and waste of money and resources, especially like what for penguins to keep people safe. Get out of here. And see, the time we're in now, our elected officials, our clergy, and all the places of influence and power, right? They play the same game as before with one another. The sun, moon, and stars are not for signs and seasons to them, but for rituals and worship to gods not known to most normal people. And yes, they do have dungeon masters. He has a playbook, he has the script. Instead of a dice roll, it's a star or a light, in which the wizards have deemed the best time for a ritual or spiritual moment. They dress up and have D&D parties. You're not invited. No normal people are invited. Nope, you're not allowed. The dungeon master gives another command or quest or event, and the players all play their characters and act as if all's normal. Of course, they can't keep secrets, they're idiots. There's always someone who just can't be quiet. Yeah, so they show out, and they get caught, like I said, doing all kinds of weird, creepy, godless things. Wearing, dressing, acting, fools. You know, like I said, they make cakes that look like humans so that they can practice cannibalism. They make guillotines with dinner plate top sets so that you too yourself could behead someone and partake in madness. They're outwardly seen doing it. Blood drinking, all the unnatural things that no human should be taking part of. Yeah, but that's just the way it is. You know, take blood baths, consume it, have rituals. Do you realize that they do what King Og spoke of, the story that I told? Yep, it's almost like the book. The old gods are still around somewhere. I wonder, what's in the places that we can't go? One can only imagine. Every day, every outlet shows our leaders all having the best of times, playing D&D and the world is their storyboard. Well, I'm sick of these nerds, and I can't wait for someone to step in. Because remember, God gave us free will. We can change the future. We do not have to go off of prophecy. It doesn't have to be death and destruction. God would have made robots if that was the case. If we all unite, they can't stop us. The holes in the ground is where they'll run, not to their mansions. I love you all. Take care of yourself. Don't let them get to you. Peace and love, friendship, fellowship. Stay positive. That's how we beat them. I'm Wild Dog, and I am out of here.